Hello and welcome to the KSW Painting Euro V8 Supercar series here at Belle live on Apex Racing TV. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick and alongside me is Marco Barbner with Sam Kumo on the cameras. And what a round we have in store here. The tight streets of Detroit is the host. And Marco, this is a challenge unlike any other.
Absolutely. Hello everyone. These guys last season they were doing Long Beach, and it was like good training. But I think that today is going to be a very challenging race for everybody. I know that this track is very bumpy, very tricky. The braking zones are absolutely the most difficult brake zones I've seen in quite a while, because as soon as you lock the brakes, that wall comes very close to you, and also the tire barriers that are sticking out. Once again, the bumps is going to be very difficult to come out on top for these drivers at the end of the two races we're going to have tonight.
Yes, the first should be about half an hour, then about a half an hour break for the second one, which will be an hour and will be a random reverse grid. So it should be absolutely fascinating. This round, we should say, is sponsored by Simability. So big thanks to them for giving the funds for this broadcast. The individual round sponsors are really crucial to this series, and from what I've seen, at least, helping out disabled iRacers really do a great cause. Do Simability. You should certainly check them out. And today, Marco, of course, we've got many championship rivals still. We've got a massive championship challenge from a lot of different drivers. So far, the top two have kind of spread away a little bit. We've got Tony Klusman and Johnny Brandon leading the standings currently. I think it's Dominic Sawicki currently in third, and unfortunately he can't make this round. Michael Taliancic also can't, and Michael Abdock, I don't know if you know this, Michael, but he's unfortunately had to withdraw from the series. Just got a little bit frustrated with the car, and I think the push he put in last season to take the challenge, it was such a lot of effort. I don't think he feels he can do the same this season, but it still means that we've got a lot of different top quality drivers in this series.
Well, that's of course very sad news for the championship. I know it for a fact. I had one of my teammates last season win the iRacing IndyCar Official Open Series, and he is not touching the car this season because of the burnout he suffered trying to and win week in and week out. So of course we are hoping that Michael comes back soon, but I think it's best for him if he gets all the time off he needs and gets back when he feels he is ready to. And I think it's the best decision for him, absolutely. So we will let him, but still today we have a very big grid. Of course, Detroit is... Everybody wants to win here, let's be honest, Sam. And these cars, for those that don't know it, in real life regularly race in street circuits. So they are designed to race here. They are good to race in street circuits. So I think the excitement will be, from the beginning to the end of the night, we are going to see excitement all around.
Yeah, absolutely. We are not going to be able to take our eyes off this one. Maybe not a whole lot of overtaking around this circuit. It is incredibly difficult to overtake around here, but it's going to be incredibly intense, and for the drivers to keep their concentration up is going to be a really big issue, really big challenge. For any of you, of course, who watch the F1 broadcast, of course, David Kotosik always comes in with useful and interesting facts. I'm going to do the opposite today and give you some uninteresting, unimportant Detroit facts. And one of them is Detroiters consume 7 pounds of chips a year compared to the 4 across the rest of the US, and also only floating post office in the United States. So that's another fact for you. Wish you didn't hear that, I guess. But just coming to the end of qualifying now, the drivers have got to put in their final laps. Now Peter Bing just clipping that wall, and there's a lot of corners like that, aren't there, Marco? That's possibly the most difficult one, where the wall just sticks out And it's so difficult. I can't give any advice to these drivers because I'd be hopeless.
Yeah, I can give you one more useless fact if you want, and the fact is that if you stand in the middle of the track, like in the middle of the track, at the center of the track, and you watch north is not Canada, but is the United States, and south is Canada. So
Yes, yeah.
I think we are absolutely we are giving out all the uninteresting facts out of the way first, because I think we are going
I've got
to
a
be...
lot more, Marco.
Oh well, for what is worth, I used to do a podcast about baseball, and our section, usually you have a worth noting section in books and magazines, and our section was called worth nothing. Because
And that's this section of the broadcast. Yeah.
as qualifying is basically over, we are just waiting for a few guys to finish their lap. As you know, we got a couple of minutes of cushion time as we see Piquet Norris heading for the pits, and I think he was the last guy on a timed lap. So as soon as he stops, we will be able to give you the starting grid for race 1.
Yes, and the grid, from what I see, it's going to be fascinating. It's always going to be good, and we saw the Long Beach round last season. That was very interesting. That was very close as well. Once again, in qualifying today, it is extremely close up there. What a challenge. This is going to be a 30-minute race, let alone the 60-minute race later on with a reverse grid. I think we can now go through the grid, and it's Nicole Foggy on pole position, his first pole position for the season. He's already dropped a few points in the championship. He's trying to bring it back today. Johnny Brandon, his teammate, starts on the front row with Chris Jackson. Strong performance from him in third, just ahead of his teammate, Tony Klusman, in fourth. Dylan Gantar starts in fifth. He was very strong at Long Beach last season. Michael Cracknell in sixth. Then it's Richard warming up the top of the AM drivers in seventh. Jamie McKnight in eighth. He's going to struggle to challenge from that position. There's Victor Morgan, Nikolai Bogatyv rounding out the top 10. Then it's Josh Thompson. Great to see him in this race. He's going to struggle though in this car with this combination. He starts in 11th. Clyde Whiting a strong 12th. Benson O'Brien starts in 13th. Then it's Gary Croft, Katie Rose Taranto. Good to see her back. Lane O'Connor, Anthony Woodward, Peter Bingham, Dominic Sori, Samuel Buzan, and Brogan Pickett Norris. I don't think Sawicki, Hewson, or Frost will be taking the start for this race, the first of the day. Just got a few more cars to get up, and the two XBR drivers at the front of the grid, Marco, do you think they're going to be able to try to pull any stunts against the two NQR drivers just behind to protect that 1-2 victory?
I think at the beginning you just have to survive, and then maybe you can think about the race strategy, because at first corner, this the right-hander, especially if you make contact, there's a huge roadblock and everybody gets into you. So survive the first corner and then maybe think about the race strategy.
Yes, what instance will there be? I think we're now lined up on the grid. V8 Supercars, Detroit. Here we go. And off we go. It's a good start for Foggy. Pulls ahead of Brandon, who's under pressure from Jackson just behind, but he stays ahead. Klusman under a little bit pressure from behind himself, but they're now heading down into turn 3, and actually there might be a challenge for the lead. Brandon on the inside of Foggy perhaps, although Jackson trying to get involved as well. He's done an awesome job. Jackson might go for the lead here, and Foggy's going to crash potentially. He's off the circuit, and that's his race really over, and Jackson's into the lead. What a start that was. Foggy's race all but over, Jackson's race in the lead, and now Brandon's trying to come back. Let's stay with this for a little bit. Brandon trying to come back, and he has got the lead. What an incredible start this is. Klusman and big troubles for Jackson. He's falling down the field.
Wow, what a great start of the race. As we see now 3 wide action here in the backstretch, as we can say, and I think that Jackson has got some huge problems with his suspensions. He cannot drive straight. You see he's holding the wheel, trying to keep his car clean and out of everybody's way, but that's not going to help him at all. And now he's in the fence.
and we see a replay of that incident with
Oh, and
Brandon, and there's another
Foggy is in
XBR
the
driver around, and
I think that was Foggy.
oh, again, wow, okay.
Or maybe not, maybe not. No, Foggy was a 66, not a 066. So it's all good. Let's say for Foggy just had an off. Let's see the replay. Because you see, Brandon was going for the move. You called it right. Jackson tried to get there, and this little touch upset the car, the 066. He hit the wall slightly, but more importantly, went into the escape road, and it's a 3-point maneuver to get out of it. That basically was last.
Yeah, what happens to Brandon just after? It would be great to see, I think, because he was side by side with Brandon for a couple of corners, and then yeah, Jackson got some damage from that. I think he may have hit the wall or something, and that was very terminal, pretty much cracking up into P3. But I said he was going to struggle to do much damage. From 8th on the grid, he is up into the top 4 now, with Gantar remaining in 5th. He really couldn't profit from that, despite what seemingly was quite a good launch. But wow, what a start that was. And now they just have to kind of get into the rhythm. But Cracknell looking absolutely awesome right now, I must say. Marco really pressuring Klisterman.
Yeah, he's getting close, and also great to see Dom and Gantar this up in the standings, because he's one of my favorite drivers, and also because he's driving a Ford, and you know, he's been a consistent driver, but maybe he hasn't got the results he deserved, and now he's in 5th position. So, oh no, he's not driving a Ford. I apologize. He's driving a Holden, but I still hope he does well.
Him now, don't you?
No, I still hope he does well. Because he's a very, very, you know, it's one of the historic drivers of the series. But he has to watch behind him because Birmingham is coming. And what we have to keep an eye on, I think, Sam, is the fact that no lead or nothing is safe in this track. And we see the slow car there. I think it's Klusterman, or I wouldn't say slow, but taking a different approach, leaving a lot of space open there. So nothing is safe on this track, and even if you are cruising in the lead, it only takes one wrong braking point, one wrong corner, you are in the fence, your suspension is done. So let's keep an eye on this race, because it is going to be exciting until the end.
Yeah, absolutely. His Klisterman must have just got a poor run from the chicane, and he's really struggling with Klisterman. I would not be surprised at all if he's got a bit of damage. You can see a bit of damage, and Jamie McKnight is going to move into the podium positions. Klisterman struggling a lot, and he's got to really hope that the barriers round here, which very nearly caught out Jamie McKnight, kind of protect him, because overtaking is really difficult. And now Damon Gantar, who, you know, I feel like I've criticised him over time for maybe not pulling off overtakes. This is your time to prove me wrong, Damon. But yeah, I don't mean anything harsh by it, but Damon's got to be super decisive here. Otherwise, the likes of Warmingham, Morgan, who's having a great race, Thompson, who's having a great race, are all going to get involved.
Wow, watching these onboards, you can really get the difficulty that these drivers are having to go through. Look at that, Gantar almost hitting the inside wall there, going into the start-finish, let's call it straight, but it really is a corner. And the bumps, and all these bumps seems like they want to push you towards the outside wall instead of towards safety. So it's every corner is so tricky, and of course the braking zones are tricky as well. As Birmingham, I think, is lining up for a move, as we see Thompson and Morrison, right behind him, with his red car, trying to make a move for P7 here. So we got a couple of two-way battles and all this big mess here in front of them, as Foggy is trying to make his comeback, and now he's up to P13, right behind Gary Croft.
Yeah, he could be on for a really good starting position in race 2 if he's lucky, Nicole Foggy, although we have seen reverse grids as small as 6, and obviously 13th, he would not be included in that, but this of all the circuits to have a bad start round, this is not a good one, because yeah, he kind of went wide and did well not to hit the wall, and that just cost him so much time. He had to do a 180-degree turn. He is very close though, and he can go for a move a little bit into that one. maybe out to this one. The traction put down for Nicole Foggy, and he's looking to the inside here. Not quite. I would say the corner names. I don't know them. I would say the corner numbers. I also don't know them. But here he comes into the final corner. They almost have to lift through this final woodcut-like kink at the end of the circuit. And he does make the move, eventually Foggy up into P12.
Yeah, great pass, clean pass as we switch to Tony Klusterman now down to, well, he's in 4th position with Wormingham. You see, it's Gunter trying to pass. Oh, Klusterman is in the wall. And yeah, he was struggling with his car and now he's going to lose all and now he's bumped and now front left hit very, very hard there. Let's see. He was struggling and struggling since he hit the wall earlier, and I think this is going to be even worse for him. Let's see the replay from his onboard. Missed his braking point here, went wide. That's the first hit, light hit. You can live with that, but then you can hear bang here, hard hit, and straight into the fence once again. That was a much harder hit.
Well, Brandon currently the championship leader. Klisterman second in the championship. Klisterman was so unlucky at Okayama last time out, and it must have just been that contact on the first lap which has caused that damage and put him in a very difficult situation. It seemed as though Josh Thompson got away from that quite cleanly, so Thompson up into 6th after a little bit of contact, but Gantar ahead of Wormingham, ahead of Thompson, 4, 5, 6. And actually not too far behind McKnight either, out in the lead. Brandon is 3.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field and showing quite comfortably. He knows they can afford to lose a little bit of time, and I seriously doubt Michael Cracknell's going to be able to overtake him later on in this race. Nicole Foggy's up into 10th position now. His next victim is going to be Tony Klisterman actually, and I doubt Tony Klisterman's going to be able to put up any defence. If yeah, the little defense, maybe not any, because I think that damage is really, really terminal potentially.
Yeah, Pete Bingham in the meantime is going into the pits, I think for a faster pair, hopefully. We'll see. Of course, it is important that he stays on the lead lap, because this way will be eligible for the reverse grid. And he is out, of course. Let's remember, for race 2, like you said, we are going to double the race distance, and it is, let's say, there is a. If you do a pit stop, it's better. You can try and do it without a pit stop, but it's going to be super difficult. And so we should say mandatory stop, but it's not a mandatory stop in the second race. But it's better if you do it. Let's put it this way. As we go back to our race leader, Johnny Brandon. He's got decent sized lead, 3.8 seconds over Michael Cracknell. He's doing a very, very good job. And McKnight is in 3rd. So right now, it's I think Wormingham and Gantar are the 2 guys to watch, because they are extremely close. As Nicole Foggy just had the fastest lap of the race at 32.5.
Yeah, and he is now onto the back of Klisterman, so Klisterman not struggling too much out there, but he is losing, well, he was nearly 2 seconds slower than Foggy on that last lap, and this is just going to be a matter of time, I believe. Klisterman quite close on Bogatire just ahead. And how are they going to deal with this one? This is pretty much as close to a not home race as you can get for Tony Klisterman, I guess. Yeah, he's going to try to nail this one, just get close to the wall, all about getting the traction down now into the slipstream. You can pretty easily defend down into this corner. Just got to cover the inside, and here comes Foggy actually. He's going to try to go to the inside. So difficult to just snatch a break down here. Klisterman doesn't want to give it up, and it's going to be through wide, and how on earth have they got through that one cleanly? Foggy's still going around the outside. Bogato very cautious, climbing on the curb, and Foggy, wow. 2 positions gained. That was super impressive.
Now, if you were Klusterman, knowing that your car is in a very, very bad shape and you're losing positions every lap, would you go to the pits, get a faster pair, try to stay on the lead lap and then hope for a good reverse? Or would you try to stay on track and limit the damage and losing as less positions as possible?
he's not looking too slow. He's only losing, I'd say, about a second compared to what he would otherwise do. So I don't think it's worth going for the pits. It's the wall another time.
Yeah,
I think he's driving really quite angrily. I'd say right now, Tony. I think he's really frustrated. That defense against Thompson earlier on just seemed as though he was a bit fed up because of that damage on the opening lap, which I don't think was his fault. But he just needs to try to get within the reverse grid, and maybe he'll be able to win race 2.
You know, the problem is that since his car is damaged, because that's undeniable. As I think Bogatayev got a piece of the wall there. The more your car is damaged, that you see, the more it gets difficult to drive, and the more chances you have of making a mistake and hitting the wall even harder than you did before after that contact. So far, this decision is paying off, because you know, P10 or possibly P9 if he passes Bogatayev could be a good finishing position for him, but he's one mistake away from risking to having to tow to the pits and possibly starting last or close to last in the next race. No, I'm saying this because we saw in the, I think
Bogatayev just skimmed the wall there. I don't think it was too bad.
Yeah, it was more sound than crash, I think. But I'm saying this because we saw at Okayama Michael Evdoka pulling this card, getting into the pits, fast repair, getting a good reverse, and then winning the race. So we know it's a viable strategy, but you have to be lucky, and you have to be, of course, good.
Yeah, I don't think Tony can afford to give up championship points like that. And of course, with Evdoka, it was guaranteed there was going to be a full reverse, whereas Tony Klusman, this is going to be a random reverse later on, so he's not necessarily going to get in. So maybe you would adopt that tactic if you knew what it was going to be, but I don't think he does, and he just wants to be within that reverse grid. Otherwise, he's going to lose so many points to the championship leader, Johnny Brandon. Championship leader in the AM category is Anthony Woodward. He's running in 12th position, going to lose a lot of points to Richard Warmingham today, it seems. He is trying to get the move on Brinton O'Brien currently. Warmingham's doing well in 5th position still. I don't think he's ever finished this high up in a race, but this is just turning into one of those kind of packs, isn't it, that we expect around this circuit. McKnight holding up Gantar, holding up Warmingham, holding up Thompson, with Morrison just watching, fingers crossed, hoping for an incident to happen.
Yeah, basically all these guys know that they can finish on the podium, so Jamie McKnight has a huge target on the back of his car, and it's going to go down, I think, to the final laps, even the final lap for these guys. Of course, if you are, let's say, Warmingham or Thompson, you have to make the move, to make more than one move. So, and McKnight is a little bit out of shape there. He saves the car. Also, Warmingham went very, very deep in that corner as well. Man, these guys are driving on the edge all the time. And I would say that so far we had a very, very clean race with not a lot of mistakes, and this proves the quality of the racing in this series. It's absolutely fantastic, as Klusterman went around Bogatayev and is trying to hold on to this 9th place. As you see a replay of what happened.
Nice move from Tony there. I wonder if he was maybe just flat out, whereas Bogatayev wasn't, and that's just allowed him to get through and, you know, recover a 9th position from this would be a fantastic effort. I wonder what can Foggy's 7 seconds off. He's not going to catch them, is he? So frustrating with Nico Foggy. At least he should be in the reverse grid. And yeah, just looking at the other battles out there, pretty much all the ones that we've covered already. We have got a battle between Sori and Buzan, about 6/10 between those two, but they are teammates, so I doubt they're going to change positions. The ASEA Racing team. Oh, and a change of position here, so Bogatayev falling down the field. He's got big issues.
Big damage on the left side of his car. Hopefully he can hold this car straight. You see, not only on the left side, but also the front of his car looks heavily damaged. So something must have happened there. We have a replay here. So he was following Tony Klusterman. Oh, hard hit straight into the tire barrier there, and I think also a little bit of suspension damage because the car is pointing, is all over the place basically. That braking zone after the backstretch, Sam, is so difficult to get right. Sometimes it seems like you have a lot of space, but in reality you have to brake very, very early.
Yeah, in my opinion, from my experience around the circuit, that's the most difficult corner on the circuit actually. Just because the exit is a little bit kind of off camber, you'll see kind of the outside part of the circuit just slopes down into the wall, and that's not really what you want. The curb on the inside is absolutely massive as they now go through it now. And yeah, you can just see the track just falls away at the edge, and you gotta get so close to the wall. The braking zone isn't easy because you do come in there at quite a high speed, but these drivers, at least at the front, really dealing with it well. Nicole Foggy is really close to Morgan, and actually he's got past Morgan now. So Foggy absolutely flying out there. He's been superb. He's some half-second faster than the race leader. On that last lap, he was a second faster than Michael Cracknell in second position. So driving really well. And actually, he could probably catch up to Josh Thompson by the end of this race as Bogotayev enters the pit lane to fix that damage.
Yeah, it will be a quick in and out. I hope for him, and he should be able to stay on the lead lap, even though a lap here is only 1 minute 33 seconds, more or less. He should be able to get in and get out and stay on the lead lap. Once again, you have to stay on the lead lap to be eligible for the reverse grid that's going to come in a few minutes. Let's see, because Thompson is in a battle with Wormingham, so Foggy could catch up to him if these guys battle hard. And of course, it's that battle we've been talking about with McKnight and Gantar. So this four-way battle for the final podium spot. And it's going to be interesting to see. Of course, it's you see Thompson very, very close to giving Wormingham a little bit of a bump there. But always respectful driving from these guys.
Yeah,
another lap was in the books.
Sorry, I was just going to say Josh Thompson. If anyone's going to make a move, it's going to be Josh Thompson, because he is so good at overtaking. We've seen that in the BSR Grand Tour, which of course will be with you tomorrow. Championship leader in that series, so he's just going to lose it there over the bump. And Thompson is just super efficient, actually races against Richard Wormingham in that series, and he's usually quite a bit ahead, but Wormingham with significantly more experience in this car and actually having a superb season in that XBR team. Thompson looks like the most likely to make the move. Foggy's going to be with these guys probably by the end of the next lap, so he's going to have about 1 lap to do it, and against Josh Thompson, I seriously doubt he's going to be able to manage that effort. Oh, Thompson's really close now to the back of Wormingham. Wormingham's having to go defensive, and here comes Josh Thompson on the outside. He's going to have the inside for this next corner. There's not a whole lot Wormingham can do around the outside there, and Thompson is going to move up into 5th position. Awesome move there, and I don't want to say it, but I called it right.
You are right, and here comes Foggy trying to get the best of these two guys. He was 2 seconds behind Thompson and Wormingham just 1 lap ago, and this battle, even though it was brief, gave him the opportunity, combined with his great pace, to get on the back of this train, and he's looking at a possible P5 finish, even though he has only 2 laps left to make the passes required to get into P5, but he's there. Let's see if Wormingham will just let him by, or if he will actually race him. I think maybe team orders will be in place right now, or let's say non-aggression pact between Foggy and Wormingham. See, no, Wormingham stays ahead.
Yeah, well, he'd get priority here, because I don't know who'd get priority here, because remember, Wormingham is fighting the AM Championship, so he really does need some points, and Foggy kind of needs to get his championship back on track for the overall title. But here we go. Foggy, he's going to try to pull off the same move as Thompson pulled off, and actually, I think Williams just lifting off there and lets Foggy have it. Foggy up into 6th position. What a recovery this is, considering he was pretty much in Canada at the 3rd corner.
Yeah, he was last and in the basically parked in the escape road there at the 2nd corner. Amazing drive as our leader Johnny Brandon is going to get the white flag this time around. So one more lap for the leaders, for everybody for that matter, to make their move, to defend their positions and exhale a little sigh of relief at the end of 15 very, very intense lap. And of course, then it will be time to get ready for a race to 34.4 for Brandon. He's taking it extremely easy. 6 seconds ahead of Michael Cracknell, so all good there, as Foggy is extremely close to Josh Thompson right now.
Foggy driving absolutely superior right now. He's not going to be able to get a move on Thompson, at least into turn 3. It's a little bit later on the brakes. You can just see those braking markers. Undoubtedly, they'll be using them through this part of the circuit. You can maybe go for a bit of a surprise tag. Maybe into this next corner, you can just poke your nose down the inside, but he wasn't close enough. And it's all about lining it up now for the back straight, parallel to the river. And Foggy's right on the tail now, and Thompson decides to pick one side. Foggy's not really going to be able to do too much apart from just go to the outside into this one. Is he much later on the brakes? I think Thompson's got it covered on the inside. Foggy does not want to get involved in another collision, and he does just have to back out of that move in the end. And there aren't a whole lot more places where Nicole Foggy can get that 5th position now. So around the final few corners, and no Joe's around the final few corners is Johnny Brandon, and he's only got a couple to go. Here we go. Johnny Brandon comes to the line for his 2nd race victory of the season, his 2nd sprint victory of the season, and he really does establish a nice lead in the championship race. And Thompson's just about going to hold on against Nicole Foggy, but what a recovery it was from Nicole Foggy to get that 6th position. And he's certainly going to be very dangerous in that 2nd race. Klusman's going to finish in 9th position, I believe. I think he has, just crossing the line now. That's not a bad effort from Tony either. Yeah, what a race that was, Marquette. Lots of battles down there. We knew it was going to be tense. It really lived up to the chaotic start that we were hoping for, and fantastic event.
Absolutely great battles all over the field, as we can see now what happened to Bogatyrov at the very end of the race. It was the last lap and he lost the car. Oh, that's unfortunate, sadly, and I think it was Lane O'Connor, the other car involved was the number 65 of Lane O'Connor. We saw, I have to be honest, and I said this thing already in the broadcast we had for the beautiful SRA GT series earlier today. It doesn't have to be always door-to-door battles to be interesting. Also, it's nice to see drivers putting pressures on the drivers in front, the driver in front trying to hold the position, and a track that doesn't give you any room for mistake. And this was a great race, and I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely, and that race will be with you in about half an hour's time. But for now, Johnny Brandon takes the race victory, 5.8 seconds clear of Michael Cracknell in the end. Starts his 6th position. Jamie McKnight started 8th, and he finishes 3rd ahead of Dominic Gantar. Just couldn't profit from that first lap carnage. He'll be a little bit disappointed not to claim his first podium of the season. Just Thompson finishes in 5th. Really good effort from 11th. Nicole Foggy looked super fast. Only 12 seconds off the lead despite those troubles on the first lap. Really good effort to finish in 6th. He'll almost certainly be within the reverse grid. Richard Warming finishes in 7th. Victor Morgan in 8th. And it's Tony Klusman who will be in 9th despite a lot of damage on that car. Brenton O'Brien, good effort in 10th. Anthony Woodward, championship leader in the AM category, he's finishes 11th. Another consistent result for him. Guy Croft in 12th. It's Clyde Whiting, Katie Rose Torrente, Samuel Buzen, Dominic Sori, Chris Jackson, Lane O'Connor, Chris Jackson, sorry, was involved in that first lap. Instinct Lane Connor in 18th, Nikolai Bogatyrev 19th, and it's Peter Bingham in 20th, and it's Bergen Pickett Norris 21st, and Frost, Sawicki, and Houston did not take the start. Sam, could we get the reverse grid wheel?
Yes, we can. So let's bring the wheel on the screen and spin it. So we have one option for the full reverse. So let's see, do we get it? It's gonna be close. No, it is 10.
10. Brenton O'Brien on pole position. Tony Klusman will be starting in second position. Wow, that's going to be fascinating. It would have been great to see a full reverse, I must say. I really wanted that. Does really disadvantage Chris Jackson down in 17th position. And Sam, don't know if we could just go back to that first lap, just see what happened to Jackson, because we never quite saw it, because he was fighting for the lead with Johnny Brandon going into turn 5. And I think they made contacts, and that was enough to give him a lot of damage, Jackson, and it was super costly in the end. So yeah, Marco, this was a pretty chaotic start. Jackson really lined up this second corner well, and it put him in with a great chance of challenging the two XVR drivers ahead.
Absolutely. Here is the first contact, you see, and Foggy goes in the escape road. Then contact with Brandon, hard racing side by side. Jackson was ahead here, so, and here was the contact, I think. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, just I know from my perspective there, Jackson just squeezed him a little bit, and he can't really blame Brandon in that circumstance.
Yeah, and then he hit the other side of the wall and of his car, so basically he had damage both left and right side of his car, and then he was riding the wall there, much like you do on an oval when you are heavily damaged. So I mean, the hit was hard, but not that hard, but sadly, you know, you have no wiggle room here. You basically, if you go outside of the racing line, you get into the wall. So that's sadly what happened. Hopefully he can come back in race 2.
Yes, hopefully. He's starting in 17th position. Hopefully he'll be able to join the big guys early in the race, but he's going to need some kind of miracle. Would not bet against it in race 2. That was a great race 1. Certainly do join us in about 25 minutes time for the second race of the evening here at Belle. and the pace car will come in the unique pit entry hit. We won't have to worry about the pits in this first race. 20 minutes, and Josh Thompson is away. And it's a very good start for Josh Thompson. He's ahead of Rich Kafenko. Michael Evdoka having to defend from Anwar Smith in the background. And Evdoka just about holds on for now, but Thompson scorching away from the rest of the field. Now, is there any challenge that Kafenko can mount going into turn 2? Defensive goes Thompson. Into turn 2 they go. You can't go around the outside too easily here. Evdoka trying to get involved as well, the two Mercedes. If anything, making a little bit of contact through there. And once again, Thompson's going to be vulnerable down this back straight.
But oh, they've got somebody diving down the inside, and that's the 505, Chris Daines. Made an ambitious move and made it work there as well. So really good driving from these drivers. Only the odd little bit of contact further back. But everybody keeping it clean. Josh Thompson had to go defensive there. That Mercedes has got a lot of grunt. And on those higher speed sections, that's where it really comes into its advantage. I mean, if you're in a sprint race, you can't really play too many team games. Look at that, Kafenko all over the grass. That's giving Evdoka the opportunity to look down the outside, and if Willie go around the outside here, he should carry the speed a little bit more. And yes, he's getting in front, he's squeezing Kafenko into that right-hander, and he's got the job done up into second place. Hold that inside line there, don't let him through. And now the two Youth Energy drivers right together with each other.
And yeah, he lost a position to Max Javiers going down the field.
Yeah, he spun it in turn 1 there. So easy to do because it's a relatively medium to high speed corner. We've got another car right across the track, and that was Lee Deemer. He's had a bit of an issue at turn number 1 as well.
Oh,
so
wow.
Multiple issues for drivers. It was Deemer, I think, trying to avoid Jamie Ayres, sending it round. Didn't touch the walls though, that's really crucial for the time being. But the cutback now, the Mercedes, get your nose in there, get in between him and the edge of the course, but he hasn't been able to do that. So Ayres is going to have to go the long way around here into this this tricky braking zone, and contact between the two of them.
Yeah, this will be interesting. On board with Cullinan, does he squeeze his opponent? He comes across a bit, doesn't he? But I don't know how to call that one.
I think it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Remember, as Anwar Smith is going slowly here. What's happened to Anwar Smith here?
But Josh Thompson is going around the final corner here, and he's going to take another victory for this season. Josh Thompson across the line, and that's a fantastic drive here at Mid-Ohio. Not a good day whatsoever for Lee Deemer, and here it was. So a little bit of contact beforehand, and oh, you don't want to go side by side through here, and yeah, that's the elevation change, and that's a hit with the ball. Could well be what he needs, because remember, the finishing results of this race will decide the starting positions for the final race of the evening. Anwar Smith, when will he go? The green flag comes out early here, and Smith has absolutely nailed that start. Max Wright in second position with Chris Daines already overtaking Colin Robinson for third position. But here is Thompson trying to go round the outside of Steve Leverley. This is going to be a difficult one to pull off. Round the outside he goes, and he might even have a go at Kafenko as well, and he's somehow holding on to it. Evdoka trying to get involved. The XBR drivers nearly colliding into each other, and still it's not over, but Thompson somehow makes that move.
He's done that all himself, by the way. I happened to look at him when he happened to do that live, and Jared Jewell and Lee Deemer have come together as well. So a little bit of shenanigans happening here on lap 3 of this race.
Not a good day for Lee Deemer so far. Here it was.
Kafenko trying his best to get past Max Wright. We saw how difficult that was to happen in the first race. And here comes Thompson looking to the inside. Not the room there because of the pit wall being there, but he's going to try and hang it out around the outside. This is his best opportunity. Carry that speed all the way into the next corner. A little bit of rubbing going on here, but into the next corner they go, into that hairpin, and Thompson has got the job done finally. Yeah, certainly really good racing going on here with these guys coming through the field. And well, here's the opportunity then for Thompson. He's looking down the inside, the sweeping right-hander. It's a tricky part of the track to do this, and I tell you what, he's done a brilliant job there because he's got Max between him and Gafenku now. That is excellent overtaking opportunist, and well, now he's going to try and waltz away.
Maybe they're overtaking not in his comfort zone, but right now, can he make the move on Colin Robinson? There's contact just ahead as well, I think, and off the circuit, they're all over the place. Gafenku off the circuit, Wright's off the circuit, Dane's off the circuit.
Yeah, Wright and Gafenku got into each other there, and I think Chris Danes just spun in sympathy with that one. So, yeah, not been a good day for Chris there.
Max Wright does just have to stay behind, but yeah, if he can get Wright, could get Malcolm, and then could get Cullinan, but yeah. Oh, and wide is Malcolm, and Malcolm might be able to gain 2 positions here. So Scott Malcolm, that was a bit of a curse, wasn't it? Sorry, Scott. And yeah, both Wright and Abdoka gain a position.
Jimmy Ayres is off.
Not again.
He's at the exit of turn 1, and he's run it wide on the exit of turn 1, hit the grass, hit some bumps there, and he's gone heavily into the Armco barrier there. He's going to try and carry on with that one, but he's got significant damage to the front of that car, and I'll be amazed if he's knocked down quite a bit of power with that amount of damage there.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of a better run on the power slightly earlier, but it wasn't a perfect run, but now he has, and he's closing in, not too much damage on the bonnet of that Mercedes. Around the outside goes Michael Abdoka. This is where he made the mistake earlier on. No mistake this time. He makes the move on Ray Cullinan. So
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
And here we go. Engines will rise. Jamie Fluke needs to get a good start here. Martin Conke on the pole. And oh, here we go. It's a good start for Fluke. Is he going to be able to challenge Conke into turn 1? Not quite. Conke gets a good start, and Fluke just about hanging on to second position going into turn 1. Bayman still in third, although he's under pressure from De Jong just behind. He hangs on to that one. De Jong with a really good start. Seemingly quite calm through these first few corners. How closely this time? Just taking a slightly tighter line. Actually, is really close. So Ellis Jr. And actually, driver ahead doesn't help the situation, so Ellis Jr. will go to the inside now, into turn 1, and he makes the move on Pashalis Gergis.
We'll see. Once again, the key will be Jamie maybe getting the famous second of gap towards to Rogers and not give him DRS. But even this time, it's 0.8 of a second at the DRS detection point. So they stay the same. Similar laps for the top 3.
Oh, what? Bayman's through.
Berryman made the move. Wow. What happened there?
I think it was wide. Yeah, Rogers missed his braking zone. Oh, this is fantastic. Peter Bayman. This is Christmas and his birthday wrapped into one. Down the inside he goes into turn 1. Bayman up into P3 in Apex Racing UK. Really in business now, running in 2nd and 3rd. Pretty much identical. He's a little bit further back this time. Taking a slightly alternative line. He's mainly been kind of taking early apex there, and then kind of just sticking to the inside. That's he's going to go into the back of him, and that's just a mistake from S Jr.
You know, misjudgment in the braking. We see the replay right now. Let's see what happens. Wow, and that was a... Wow, the corpse car got launched in the air. We see these guys get 23 laps with one set of tires. We have 70 laps to go total, so even though... Let's see, Fluke is behind Jensen and in front of Rogers, if I'm not mistaken. But the drivers are changing tires, and I think that both... Well, Kroenke is out, Jensen is right behind him. And Fluke has overtaken Berryman, who's crucially in front of Rogers.
He could well be on a one-stopper. That would probably make more sense, wouldn't it? But more pressingly, Fluke, he's close again. Defensive. Goes Jensen. Fluke to the outside. Going into turn 1. And Jamie Fluke has made an awesome move there. Can he hold on to it, though? He's still going to be under pressure. No, yes, he can, so. And Bayman just behind.
Now, great exit from Peter. Oh, he's got him this time, I think.
Awesome run, and Jensen isn't even defending it. Bayman down the inside. Apex Racing UK back to 2 and 3. That poor qualifying from him has really cost Kevin of just exhibiting this awesome pace once again. And Bayman ahead of Fluke, so the change has occurred, and I think that's wise. But we didn't see him clearly have more pace than Martin Kroenke, which I think we can see quite easily right now.
Yeah, both Apex guys lapping faster, and Peter Berryman down the inside, and he makes the move, crucial move there. Can he defend on the inside? Oh, he left better grip from his tires, and he makes it stick. That is crucial. Great move by Peter Berryman here.
But, you know, Peter Bayman will take that still. Now, Fluke will get the move, and predictably, De Jong into the pits.
So, good lap there from Kroenke, I think, as Kevin Ellis Jr. on the outside of the area line in that corner, and Bakum defending. I thought he was going for the pits.
Yeah, he's just let him pass there. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bakum's missed his braking zone, and he nearly went into the back of Ellis Jr. Like Ellis Jr. went into the back of the corpse earlier on. It's going to be close, and he's into the pits. Okay, so he's going to be in the nice little gap between De Jong and Jensen there. So there's not really too much pressure on this pit stop. Now it'll just be a case of catching up to De Jong, overtaking De Jong, then catching up to Kroenke, and overtaking Kroenke. Easier said than done. Oh, is he getting a new front wing? Oh dear. Peter Bayman. Oh my goodness, I thought maybe the damage would be costly for him. And he's going to lose a position here as well. Unless that's a speeding penalty. That's a really long stop for Peter Bayman. That's a speeding penalty, I think. 19 seconds. I can't believe it.
Wow. I think it was 4.1 seconds the stop, so it was a regular stop. But maybe a speeding penalty. Let's see the replay.
Yeah.
He came in with locked wheels. Yeah, he should get a good exit from this ideal lion duck corner. He does. He gets the deal.
Welcome back to the KSW Painting UAB8 Supercar series here at Belle Isle. We just witnessed an awesome race one, full of incidents, full of collisions. What more do you expect from a race here at Detroit? Of course, we should just remind you today's sponsor for this event is Simability. Certainly check them out. Do work for disabled sim racers. And kind of design equipment around different needs, and certainly check them out. And Marco, awesome first race, like I've already said. I think the second race is going to be similar. We've got a 10-car reverse, a lot of different big drivers in that top 10, and it's really difficult to call.
Difficult to call. Track conditions are slightly different. The sky is a little bit more cloudy for this second race, and the sun is going down. And also, like we said, the longer race distance, which will probably most certainly require a pit stop from this driver. So strategy will also play a huge part in what these guys are going to do. I imagine it will be fuel only, but maybe somebody will try something different just to spice up things. And of course, 1 minute 33 per lap. The most important thing you want when you stop is to be sure that you go out in a clean air, clean track. You can run your laps and maybe get that undercut on the driver you have in front.
Yeah, that's going to be absolutely crucial. And found all circuits, you don't want to be stuck behind traffic. Around here, it's 10 times worse pretty much. That's just the worst case scenario, and I would not be surprised if the majority of jobs kind of stay out as long as possible. Useless facts about Detroit, number 4. Sorry to bore you with this. We did get a dislike earlier on, and I feel as though it's my fault. But Detroit was the first place to give private telephone numbers. So there you go. Interesting fact number 4 about Detroit, and we can now go to the grid, and it is Brenton O'Brien on pole position, finished 10th, and he really does deserve that. Brilliant performance from O'Brien in the first race. He'll start on pole position. Tony Klusman starts on second place. He could well be the favourite for this one. Victor Morhan, what can he do? Been a brilliant rookie so far this season. He starts in third. Could this be his big break? Richard Warmingham in fourth. His points really looking strong after today, surely. Nick Offoy, he looks super strong in fifth. Josh Thompson will just be gaining experience in sixth. He could be a big danger. He's going to be able to pull off the moves if no one else can. Dermot Gantar starts in 7th with Jamie McKnight in 8th. Michael Cracknell looks strong in 9th with Joey Brandon. Race 1 winner in 10th, and behind that is Anthony Woodward, Guy Croft, Clyde Whiting, Katie Race Toronto, Samuel Buzan, and away we go. And it's not a good start for O'Brien whatsoever, and Klusman takes the lead into turn 1. McKnight just staying in third position, and big contact for O'Brien straight away. And already he's losing a couple of positions. This is not the start that Brenton O'Brien wanted whatsoever, and there's big contact as well for the ASEA racing driver. Warmingham though up into second position, Foggy up into third. What danger he could pose now. And just falling down the field is Brenton O'Brien. Really feel for him, I must say, Marco. But he's been spun around again from pole position to the back of the grid.
Yeah, that could have been much worse. There's the car sideways, and now once again, luckily that car was the pole sitter was back in pointing at the right direction. As we see, Chris Jackson proceeding in a very, very slow fashion on the right side of the track. Terrible race for him after a disastrous race 1. And now Tony Kusterman is in the lead, Warmingham and Foggy, as we see Morricone losing some position, but I think it was just due to a pass, and when you get passed by somebody, oh, Whiting is off as well.
Yeah, let's see how this one unfolded. So yeah, was on the outside, and I wonder. Oh no! No, it was Whiting's fault, wasn't it? I thought he maybe took someone out, but no, he was the one who was causing the contact, I think. And that's really his chances over. Gantar currently in 7th position. I wonder if he's got a bit of damage. Seemingly got a bit of damage, I think, with Cracknell just behind. Bogataro gone from 19th to 9th. What a start it is for him. Brilliant driving. And yeah, he'll be right in line, really close between Thompson and McKnight. And McKnight is on the inside of... oh, and Thompson's going to lose out, actually. Brandon is going to get past Josh Thompson, up 5 positions. And Johnny Brandon's going to move on to Jamie McKnight next.
So I think the driver hit by Whiting was Woodward, and he's getting out of the pits. Also Morricone and Soiree in the pits as well. A bit too early, I think, to go from here to the end of the race. So these guys are facing an uphill battle.
Team orders maybe for the XVR drivers, because Foggy is up into 2nd position and now can chase down Tony Kusterman. Make sure that he doesn't hit the wall there. Doesn't quite, but Warmium very obedient in the first race, very obedient in the second one. And if Johnny Brandon can just get past Jamie McKnight, I assume the same treatment will be given to him. But we saw from that first race, McKnight really wasn't under pressure in the... Well, he was under pressure, but never did the drivers behind really get alongside McKnight. And Brandon, this next potentially half an hour could be very painful.
Absolutely, it's going to be very difficult for him. You know, having Thompson behind is never easy, and of course McKnight is a very, very tough driver to pass right in front of him. So we see the difference in pace. The leaders are in 30, 31, but being in the pack, these are good drivers, Brandon, McKnight, etc. They're lapping in the 33s, so losing a lot of time. If you want to get in front, you have to make a move quickly. Even though it's a 30 lap race instead of 15, still you have to be very quick with your moves and try to get as much cleaner as possible.
So I'm not quite sure how much damage Cracknell and Gantar have. On that last lap, they were faster than the drivers ahead of them, for the majority at least. So yeah, that damage that we can see on their cars clearly not affecting them too much, and I would not be surprised if they kind of draw themselves a bit closer to the drivers ahead. Just got to work together for now. We could well see a big pack, and here's a move. Chris Jackson. Here is Chris back again. And how we've been missing him today, because he looked so strong in qualifying. Took the lead in the first few corners of race 1. Unfortunately, then made contact with the wall soon after. But he's going to be a big threat. I think even for the podiums, he's running in 9th right now. But I think if he can pull off a good strategy, Marco, he could be right in line for a podium position.
And you have to be honest, I am
surprised.
Well, yeah, I was surprised because I thought his car was badly damaged after that first lap contact. Now we will see this contact he had with the wall, if it's going to affect him. Bogatairev is keeping it close. Oh, and he's all over the place. You see, as O'Brien goes into the pits, but Jackson is all over the place. And once again, it's too early, as we see Brandon on McKnight.
Oh, this could be risky.
Side by side.
McKnight stays ahead unless there's a response from Johnny Brandon. McKnight left a little bit of room. Now can Thompson get involved in this one? No, he can't. Josh Thompson turned into Johnson later. And Thompson, well, he'll be loving this, I think, because he knows that despite him maybe not being as fast as Brandon, his race car is really going to allow him to put up a challenge.
And Thompson were all sorts of sideways there as we get into a hard braking zone. After the backstretch, hard on the curbs, all these drivers, and Brandon was, I think, finally poised to make a move there. All of a sudden, McKnight was able to close and defend his position, and in an instant, basically, for Brandon, it was switching from trying to make a move back to defending from Josh Thompson. So it's all happening, and these three guys, of course, battling with each other. They are giving Richard Wormingham a bit of a breathing space there in third position, as the two leaders are lapping almost equally. And a little bit slower is Wormingham, but even slower, of course, are these guys here because of the great battles they're having. And Gantar and Cracknell are actually closing on them, like you said before. They are playing it smart, Gantar and Cracknell. They are not battling very hard with each other. They are just trying to get back to the guys in front of them.
Yeah, they are certainly fast, aren't they? And Jackson, yeah, of course, Jackson as well. He's going to get involved. This would be fantastic if we had a queue of cars from 4th to 9th. Bit of a useless statistic, I guess, is that McKnight and Brandon are the only drivers to have scored a podium at every round of the championship so far. McKnight having to go defensive once again. Brandon so close onto the back of him. He just can't find a way through, and as McKnight kind of wisens up to this, he's only interested in keeping this position. It's just going to potentially repeat itself over and over again, and tend to, you know, a bit of a cycle where Brandon gets placed in the same corners and McKnight just defends the exact same way.
Back to Gantar and Cracknell. We'll see lap times this time around, if they are gaining, if they are still gaining on Thompson, Brandon and McKnight in front of them. The trio laps in the 31s. No, they are a bit slower this time around, so you see less battling this time between the 4th, 5th and 6th guy, and they were able to get a much better pace and pull once again a little bit of a gap over Gantar and Cracknell. So Gantar is missing the rear part of his car, and Cracknell is missing the front part of his car. So I don't know if they hit each other, but it's pretty odd to see these cars, one following the other with opposite kind of damage.
Yeah, you could well have made contact because they did start near each other on the grid. Brandon is really close onto the back of McKnight now. It's 1.5 tenths from the screen I'm seeing, and here we go. McKnight, oh, he's so good at defense, isn't he? Down into that corner, but he could be wide here. There's nothing Brandon can do. You cannot go for a dive around this part of the circuit. Now, if you can just get close, you can maybe just go for a bit of a lunge into this hairpin, but McKnight sees it early, just takes a slightly wider line, but he's offline now, and here comes Brandon. He's got the inside line. Can he get the traction down better? He's going to be down the inside. Johnny Brandon, championship leader, and they could make contact, but somehow McKnight holds on. Thompson still watching this one, still can't get the move on Brandon, but McKnight, this is superb driving from him right now.
Absolutely, great driving, great battle. These three drivers are putting on a show for us. And of course, on this lap, they are losing to the guys behind them. So this is going to go on until basically, well, till something happens, because if these guys don't battle, they gain on Gantar and Cracknell. If they battle, Gantar and Cracknell close the gap on them. And now it seems like Brandon is waiting a bit as Thompson. Every corner we see Thompson going sideways, basically. Always great fun when he's on the track, no matter what series he's in. He's always one of the most spectacular drivers on the field.
Yeah, absolutely. Here comes Brandon once again. This is incredible pressure being put on Jay McKnight. Can he find a way this time? But once again, McKnight with the same move. Is he a little bit deep though once again into this corner? Brandon can do a bit of a switch. No, the track's just too narrow through that part. They are all really spinning up their wheels, and that's going to increase their tyre temperatures a lot, which is so important, of course, on iRacing and in these cars in particular. A long way away from their pit stops, of course. And Brandon, well, if he had a plan A, he's got to go for plan B, because this is not working for him right now.
It's not working, and
oh my goodness me! Thompson's carried on going. There's a lot of damage there. He can get the fast repair. He might be able to get to the end of the race, but that was, well, I'm not going to hold back, but that was a very bad glitch.
That was really wild. I mean, if you saw what I saw a car flipping, basically. Okay, yeah, that's what happened basically. After a side contact with the wall. Oh man, I'm watching it again on the stream. That was one of the wildest things I've ever seen in a while on iRacing.
Yeah, but Klusman and Foggy are really close. Klusman lost 7/10 of a second on that last lap. I can't see any damage, so maybe just a small mistake. And Klusman, every time I look at that corner, I think, oh damn it, they're going to miss the corner. They're so deep on the brakes, and now this is for the race lead. XVR versus Never Quit Racing. How many times are we going to say that this season? These two teams dominating the championship with Klusman, Jackson, Foggy, Brandon. Oh, and
Brandon,
across the
big
side, and
damage.
that's Brandon. Big troubles for Johnny Brandon.
Everything looking fine there. Oh, strange crash.
He didn't clip the wall, did he? That was just on the brakes. Was it? Or
I think, well, if he clipped the wall, it was an odd one, because it's not like the preferred line to get close to the wall, but not that close, and he's back in as we see Klosterman and Foggy side by side on the back straightaway.
he doesn't really go for the switchback, but can he get this slightly better run here? Oh, this is fantastic racing all down the field. This is where, Brandon and Foggy made contact in the last race. But with that all happening, these two who are, you got to say, probably the second and third favourites for the championship, judging by their performances this season, you got to say they've got to score maximum points. 10 points difference between finishing first and second in this race. And Foggy, nowhere to go. He's going to try to go around the outside. That's so risky because you can get put into the wall all over the place with the wheel spin. This is some of the best racing I've ever seen in this series, Marco.
Yeah, can we get here multiple times per season? I would definitely vote for that. And wow, so it will be interesting to see Jackson if he is able to Thompson, if he will be able to get to the end of the race with this somewhat early pit stop, with a very, very spectacular entry, I have to say, to the pits there. As now Klusterman gets a little bit of breathing room, but I would imagine that Foggy is going to come for him as Cracknell gets into the pit. So the drivers are starting to pit right now, so maybe with with a bit of fuel saving. Well, no, Josh Thompson, I think, is out of the race. Definitely, he is not come out of the pits. I apologize for that, because I thought he was back on the track. He is out, so I think that is game over for him. Nice way to, I mean, it's always sad, but
As he hit the wall there, I think it was just a skim. I think it's not too bad for Foggy.
Yeah.
Just for reference, Cracknell's just come into the pits. I think you may have said that, Marco. It certainly would have come up on your screen, I think. And he is 4 seconds ahead of Brandon. So that's a bit of a reference for you. Problem is, I can't remember where Cracknell was. He was with Gantar, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So if Gantar pitted, he'd probably be ahead of Brandon. And if McKnight pitted, and if Warming pitted. So I think Brandon right now is in a net 7th position then? Yeah, net 7th position. So he's going to have some overtakes to pull off if he's going to not lose too much time to his championship rivals today.
So he went into the pits to get his fast repair, and now the car is squeaky clean, as you can see, this beautiful Ford Falcon FG. But of course now he knows there is no room for any more mistakes. And that was a very, very odd mistake from a driver as good as Johnny.
Yeah, whilst we've got a little bit of breathing for us, because there's not, apart from the lead battle, it's not that intense out there right now. Could maybe go back to that replay and maybe have an onboard shot of just what happened to Johnny Brandon there with that mistake, which cost him so much. And here we go, we'll get a little bit of a better understanding, hopefully, what happened here. I think it was a tap with the wall, wasn't it? But it maybe even like netcode, you know? And it just tapped him round, didn't it?
Well, for whatever's worth, I once destroyed the left rear of my skip barber at Lime Rock Park by netcoding one of the guardrails from 1 meter away. So it could happen. Like I watched the replay, I was 1 meter away from the guardrail on the left side near the jump at Lime Rock, and it registered as an impact with the wall somehow. So it could happen. I mean, there wasn't the classical racing crash sound there, as we see Cracknell trying to make a move on Croft, and I think he will be able to bring the 9th position.
Or leads really close, sorry. Just sorry to interrupt. I just whenever it goes to 0.2 of a second, I'm just like, oh my god. And it's 0.3 of a second now. What's the drive out of the corner like for Klusman? Not too bad. He just pulled away on the exit a little bit from Foggy behind. He's still going to the middle of the circuit. He's got one aim, has Dane Klusman. Fortunately for him, the likes of course, Jackson Brandon, and here comes Foggy to the inside. Is there anything Klusman can do? Klusman had an instant round this corner last time, and he was not going to lose the lead this time. This is really gloves off racing now.
Yeah, there's a lap car in front of them. I think they will catch him on the backstretch, so it will not be a problem for them. No, this is the backstretch, so maybe they will catch him in the fountain section, I think. So not the ideal place to get a lapper, although it gets a little bit wide on the double left-hander there. Okay, he moves out of the way. Nice job there by the lap car.
This is where he's got half a chance, Foggy. You see, I've done one move here ever, and honestly, the feeling that you get when you pull it off is absolutely immense. Because it is so difficult to pass around this circuit, so to pull off a bit of a sneak attack through that corner is absolutely brilliant. And here comes Foggy once again. Klusman defending almost into the final kink of the lap, and it's a chance for Foggy. It's not a big braking zone, it's all about lining it up, just hoping that Klusman is a little bit wider. He was a little bit wider through that first corner, maybe not getting the drive out of the second corner. The gap is less than 1/4 of a second, staying right to the inside of Klusman. Is there a way down the inside? He's leaving himself a little bit vulnerable, and Foggy there, he went to the outside. I felt as though he could go to the inside. Maybe that was part of his plan, but yeah, just slots in behind. But yeah, I don't know about you, Mark, eh? Klusman kind of went to the middle of the circuit, and Foggy just went to the outside when the inside seemed kind of very open.
Yeah, maybe didn't want to risk the move there. Maybe he knows he is better suited to pass Klusterman in a different part of the track. But yeah, that was a bit too inviting from a driver of Klusterman's experience. Let's see how they will approach the right-hander. Oh, you see crossing paths there, always very dangerous, bumping hard on the curves. Still Klusterman is ahead, but Foggy seems to be waiting for the right opportunity as we are getting closer and closer to the halfway mark of this second race of the evening, the feature race here from Detroit. And what a great battle for the lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wonder if they pitted now. I wonder if they've come out in the nice little cushion between Bogotayev and Buzan. I wonder if that might be an option for Foggy right now, just to come into the pits. I doubt he'd know that, of course. And well, I guess he can maybe work it out from his relative screen. But that could maybe be an option. There's about a 12-second gap in there. So, skimming the wall there is Foggy. And he's not going to have a chance, I think, down into turn 3 this time. Super defensive, gain his Klusman. And actually, I think maybe blocking thin air there, because Foggy has got an awesome run through turn 3. He's not close enough before, though, I believe. No, he's not, although every corner he's got to be careful as Klusman, because he could go for the inside at any point, Foggy. But he just, maybe you'll have to wait for the pit stops to make it.
Yeah, in the meantime, Chris Jackson is in the pits and coming out of the pits. Let's see, he should be in P9, maybe.
Or is he ahead of Brandon? Brandon's into the pits.
Brandon is back into the pits. So something is clearly not right with his car.
Well, I wonder if he just couldn't get to the end of the race with that fuel, yeah. Although that would imply that Cracknell can't either, because Cracknell only came in a lap later. I'm not sure. Well, this is kind of the first bad thing to have happened to Johnny Brendan this season. So far, he's been absolutely meticulous. Has not had a bad result. I don't think he's finished outside the top 5, but this pit stop now, and he's stationary for a long time as well. What's going on for Johnny Brandon?
As Jamie McKnight also is in from 4th position.
Super close this time as well. Foggy goes to the outside once again. Better covering off there from Klusman. Oh, it's so tight on the inside. And Foggy's going to try to go around the outside this time. Klusman has got the inside. He's got the better line. Foggy tries that one every single time. But it seems as though he's... Well, that was a different idea to go around the outside. He's trying to catch Klusman out. But that seems to be the only corner where he feels as though he can pull off the move.
Yeah, maybe here would be a better chance for him, but Kusterman has such a great drive out of the backstretch. Also, every time they cross path here, it's always so scary. Luckily, they are amazing drivers, so they don't make any silly mistakes, but you see, it only takes a little bit of a contact to send both cars flying, so they have to be very careful as we are getting near the end of another lap. We are halfway through this race. Let's see if either Klusterman or Foggy will head for the pits this time around. See the pit lane there on the left side of your screen. They both stay out.
We could just watch these guys for the entire race, couldn't we? It's so intense, and there aren't any really tight battles going on elsewhere. That's why we're not necessarily showing too much attention, but you know that this is so we can't really turn our eyes away from this because something could happen at any point. Foggy to the outside again, and he's going to try to get the cutback. That was a different cutback there. Really tried to get a good tight line, but he couldn't quite pull it off because Klusman was almost a little bit too slow on the apex.
Once again, Klusterman was covering the inside, even though I think he could see. Hopefully, I know he uses a 3D visor, so he probably can look in his mirrors. He could see that Foggy was not attacking on the inside. So once again, he's choosing that line. He gets, of course, he can defend the inside. He doesn't get a good exit out of there, but it seems like Foggy doesn't have enough speed to make up for, or to take advantage of Klusterman's tight entry through that couple of corners there. Ooh, sideways for Foggy. He's trying it all. He's throwing everything at the wall. And now it's Klusterman that's sideways. So, and they are both pushing really hard. Lap 17 starts right now.
Yeah, he's got a long way to go, Tony Klusman, if he's going to claim this race victory. If they pitted now, I think they'd come out actually in a nice little pocket. They come up behind Richard Warmium. He's 12 seconds off the lead because of these two fighting. And then the next driver is Bogotayev. He's some 30 seconds behind, and they would just stay ahead of Bogotayev, I believe, at least. So that's an option now for Foggy. He wants to go for the undercut. That's a chance. Because Klusman's just got to stay out for as long as possible, really, until Foggy pits and just reacts after that. Again, just hitting the inside wall, and he's all over the place, Foggy. And yeah, just drops a little bit of time, but I imagine he's going to make that up nice and quickly very soon.
Yeah, as in the meantime, you see another stop that was for Dom and Gantar. So McKnight, Cracknell, Gantar, and Jackson have all gone into the pits. Clyde Whiting in P9 still has to pit, and then Morehon, Kuzin, and O'Brien went into the pits as well. So basically, it's Klusterman, Foggy, Wormingham, Bogotayev, and Clyde Whiting in the top 10 that still have to pit. Now will Fog, if the damage is
Oh, here we go.
yeah, so he had damage, he had big damage, and a smart decision is in.
So, well, I must say, Kloosman's just going to have to cover this one off, isn't he? He's going to have to pit on the next lap just to, you know, fend off the undercut. For Foggy, this is going to be quite easy. You know, he's going to come out, should be in a nice, you know, pocket of free space unless he's near Bogotayev. I don't think that should be an issue for him.
Very quick stop for Foggy, 8 seconds and 95. Wow. I think it's the fastest stop we've seen all day. There's also Warmingham is in the pits.
Warmingham is behind McKnight.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Where was Warmingham previously? He was running in 3rd place previously with Warmingham, so
yeah,
a little bit of a longer pit stop. Cracknell only had a 9-second pit stop, so I think he's going to have to pit again. I don't see how he would have put that much fuel in that time. And actually Warmingham under pressure from Gantar to the outside into turn 3, and off in the background, that's Jackson. And he can't afford to lose a position. Jackson to Whiting just behind. Could be under pressure when Bogotayev comes into the pits soon as well. Not going Chris Jackson's way today, is it?
Absolutely not. Sometimes we have one of these days where nothing goes your way. And Gantar looking very, very close to Warmingham. Of course, Sam, when you go into the pits, as Klusterman is in, by the way, when you go into the pits, especially in a track like this, it's tough to get your concentration back when you go out, because you take that pit stop like as a you know, a timeout, a break. So it's sometimes not easy to get back on the track, toggle the limiter, and then get into a race mindset again. You take
into the lead, by the way.
Yeah.
Kloosterman, I think, may have made a mistake. I think he made a mistake on his in-lap, and it's cost him really badly because it wasn't a bad pit stop for him. And he's behind McKnight as well. Tony Kloosterman from the lead of the race, and he's going to only be ahead of Michael Cracknell as well. So Kloosterman made a mistake on that in-lap, and here it was. I imagine he's gone straight on. He lost 10 seconds due to this incident. He was pushing too hard, and he's missed this corner, has he? Oh, he's made a big contact, hasn't he? Wow. And that's denied him the race victory.
Wow. Pretty big hit. And now he's in, P6, so disaster. And Nicole Foggy looked like everything was lost after that was in a bad position after hitting the wall in his in-lap. Now all of a sudden he's the new leader of the race with a sizable margin of 10 seconds over Jimmy McKnight. And then behind him, it's all happening. Of course, there's Cracknell in 3rd, and then Warmingham, Gantar. And you see Tony Kloosterman will be furious with himself. He usually comes for a post-race interview with us, so I will be very interested to ask him a couple of questions, of course. And these guys here will battle for P4, I think, until the end of the race, because apart from Whiting, everybody else has been in the pits.
Well, I think he may have made a little bit more contact, Kloosterman, earlier on in this lap, which because he was ahead of Cracknell when he came out of the pits, and because he's now down into 6th position. So I wonder kind of what happened to him on this lap, on the last lap, sorry, which has moved him down the field, down into 6th position now, and he's going to struggle to make those moves on Gantar and Warmingham just ahead. Warmingham having an awesome run. This is his best meeting, I think, ever in this series. And a P4, and Cracknell's into the wall. Losing 2 positions. And here it was. Oh, no, I don't know, Marco. Is that going to cause a bit more damage for him? I think he should be okay to continue challenging at a normal pace.
Yeah, I think it's okay. It's okay for him. It was a decent-sized hit, but it was oh man, he saved it there. He has some damage, that's for sure, but it would have been a a lot worse. And now, for the record, the Whiting is out of the pits. So what you see on the left side of your screen are the effective positions. Everybody has taken their mandatory stop, and now it's just a matter of racing to the checkered flag in 9 laps time, with Klusterman closing in on Cracknell and Wormingham and Gantar getting a little bit of a gap, as you see on your screen. The pit lane time roundup for the top 7 drivers in the race right now.
Yeah, I was just looking back at that outlap for Tony Klusterman, and he did hit the wall actually down into turn 3. So that was what cost him those couple of positions in the end. And yeah, just went sideways into the wall. So yeah, it's so frustrating for him. Does mean that Jamie McKnight, of course, is in 2nd position. What an awesome result this is going to be. This would be his 4th podium of the season. This is incredible from Jamie McKnight, and maybe not a championship challenger, I feel like. I don't think he's got the pace of the likes of Klusterman and Brandon as well. But with problems for Klusterman and Brandon today, and after a little bit of a sluggish start for Foggy in this championship, he's going to be right in there now in the point standings.
We always say that consistency is key. You can be the fastest driver on the field, but if you're not consistent, it counts for nothing. And you know, if Jamie keeps driving like this, getting regular podiums, who knows what might happen at the end of the season, you know, with how other drivers are going to behave in the race meetings, if they're going to be consistent as well, because you know, if he's always there, he's going to be there at the end of the season. That's of course great for him, as we see Wormingham trying to pass one of the easier cars. I think it's well, I think it is a overtake of a lapped car, as we can hear.
On the wall, I think, just ahead.
There's a car in the wall with a destroyed engine. It's Katie Rose Taranto, I think. Yeah, I heard the engine explode, but maybe it wasn't. It was just a hard contact, because Ford engines never break. Remember that. As we see Cracknell and Klusterman.
Oh, she's done it again, I think.
Yeah, that was big damage on her car, so maybe it will be a race over. You know, Cracknell went into the wall. We know that Klusterman went into the wall as well, and it doesn't seem like Klusterman has the speed to actually... Yeah, he's close to Cracknell, but he cannot make a pass.
Yeah. Well, Klusterman earlier on was probably quite liking how difficult it is to pass around here when he was fighting for the lead with Nicole Foggy. Foggy's now 20 seconds up the road. A couple of mistakes from Klusterman in the space of pretty much half a lap have cost him, and now he'll be wishing that there weren't quite so many walls and he's nearly in the barrier. Klusterman, well, he needs to keep it on the track. He needs to at least claim this 6th position. He won't be far off Brandon in the point standings at the conclusion of this event if he can just hang on to it. But it's 2 potential race victories which have gone away from him due to mistakes, to be honest, because that first race he hit the wall here at turn 2 on the opening lap. That cost him very badly once he got the damage. And in this race he's arguably thrown away a potential race victory. So it's rare of Tony to do that, and he's lost it once again, and he's hit the wall. Hopefully he's not too bad. Klusterman, so Jackson's going to go through.
Oh, I think he's a bit sideways. Let's see if we can get an onboard shot to see how he's holding that wheel. Let's see. Lost the car entering into the corner. Sideways, hard hit on the left rear. Let's see if he's holding that wheel straight. Let's say yes, but he has some suspension damage, I think.
Well, he's 14 seconds ahead of Bogatayo. He's playing a strong showing, particularly in this race. But yeah, Klusterman just got to get to the end of the race. You know, this is lap 23 of 30. Just finish the race. He's not going to get any higher than this, because Jackson's got really good pace just ahead of him. and just hope that something happens up ahead, because yeah, even if he drives really fast, then there's just no point in oh, Foggy's in second position
And with big
McKnight
damage.
leads.
Big damage on the front left of his car. He lapped a 146.
I cannot, this is incredible.
Told you, Sam, it's never over on this track. Oh, what a strange mistake.
He had all the space down there, and yet he locked the tires still.
He was so focused on making, I think, a clean pass over that was Clyde Whiting, I think. Oh, and McKnight almost hit him in the back. Wow. So
Well,
Jamie McKnight, all of a sudden.
Foggy's gone straight on.
All over the place. He's all over the place. Wow.
Warmingham is in second position. Who would have guessed McKnight and Warmingham, even though, no disrespect, but I've been going on for a good season now. How good Jamie McKnight is, yet not claiming a race victory. He claimed a race victory at Phillip Island in Season 3. I'm not even sure if I was on iRacing back then, that was so long ago. But today, it looks as though he is going to take a lot of points home, and perhaps even the championship lead, I think, at the end of this race. This has been an incredible meeting. He's 5 seconds clear of Richard Warmingham, who's just clear of Doman Gantar. Foggy is in 4th position now, and Cracknell and Jackson and Klusman in 5th, 6th and 7th. This has been, yeah, this has certainly been, I think, the best race I've ever commentated on, Marco.
That's why we love road circuits, street circuits, because anything can happen at any given moment. And now Warmingham and Gantar are going to battle it out for the 2nd and 3rd spot on the podium. You see in the back Foggy, 137, but he's all over the place. He has to be very, very careful if he doesn't want to get involved with other drivers. Cracknell goes by, I think, yes. He's basically driving sideways, and all these other guys behind him are going to make quick work of him.
Well, he should beat Bogatire, but I think he's going to lose out to Jackson Klusman, so that'll be P7. So Klusman, I did say, you know, just wait for instance to happen up ahead, and yeah, he has been rewarded. Will there be an instant between these two drivers? It's Warmingham versus Gantar. Gantar, who, yeah, so had a chance at the feature race victory at Silverstone in the first round of the championship, but just couldn't make the moves later on in the race despite having a lot more pace and a lot fresher tyres. And if he can just get Richard Warmingham, I feel as though he could maybe chase down Jamie McKnight by the end of the race, not necessarily overtake him. But who knows? We can't even call this one anymore. This is, who knows what's going to happen next. McKnight is losing time to these drivers, but you feel as though that's just, you know, taking extra caution due to all what's gone on today so far.
Well, he can finish 2nd or 3rd, but even though it's very early in the season, Warmingham with this meeting gear is putting a big mark on the yellow championship, the club championship, because he had a good race 1 and he's having a great race 2 compared to the other guys you see on the left side of your screen with a yellow bar near their number. So he will be very happy with himself. McKnight is lapping just a bit slower than these guys, but 5 seconds left, so I think if he doesn't make a mistake, the win is in the bag, and I think we will have these two guys provide us some great entertainment in this final 4 laps of the race.
Just looking at the championship, oh wow, sorry, just looking at the championship, McKnight currently trails Johnny Brandon by 104 points. I think he'd move ahead of Brandon at this point. Klusman would be a close second. We could be exiting this round of the championship with the top 3 drivers in the championship separated by about 20 points. It would be absolutely incredible. We've got a proper championship on our hands, but Klusman back onto the back of Jackson. Let's not rule him out of this one. And yeah, all over the back, trying to get that P5. They're ahead of Foggy, of course, now. And will there be any team orders? Because Jackson, well, he's still got a chance at the championship, but he's a long way off after already missing a round this season. Any obligation you think, or they've surely just got to be complete equals?
Well, let's see. Usually they move out of the way in this part of the track or in the next few corners. If Chris does notice that Tony is faster, I think he will let him by. Let's see. At the moment, the status quo remains the same. Of course, they don't want to hit each other, and we've seen this season especially various teams getting involved with teammates, especially in the beginning of the season.
Well, you think Montreal? These two did actually crash into each other, didn't they?
Well, that and also the XVR guys, who I think had a bit of a crash, especially the last chicane, and then it looks like Jackson and Klusterman will be able to fight for the position. Hopefully they don't do anything stupid. I think that's what the team are hoping for this battle, but it's good to let's see drivers from the same team be able to race against each other. As we are in lap 28 of 30, so it's 3 laps to go. Magnet 32.4, let's see Warmingham and Ganta 32.4 and 32.2, even though Warmingham now has 0.7 of a second over Ganta, so a little bit of a cushion there.
Yeah, Klusterman just making a little bit of contact with the wall, and Jackson's all over the place. He kept it out of the wall though, and Klusterman was not close enough, but maybe going into turn 3 now. Tony Klusterman down the inside, into turn 3 at Belle, and he's not got the space. Jackson squeezes him, and just about retains the 5th position, up 12 positions from where he started. He still feels though maybe more was possible after a couple of mistakes early on, which cost him which caused a bit of damage, cost him a little bit of time. But Klusterman not quite close enough, and the second and third side getting really close once again.
Yeah, there was a moment where they were 0.3 of a second between each other. Now it's 0.5 of a second between Warmingham and Gantar. Tire squealing, Klusterman saves it. Great save.
Well, once those tyres get hot, it makes these cars from difficult to drive to near impossible, and he's all over the place. Oh, Tony, don't waste the points, just keep it on the circuit. That's 5th place over and done with. Foggy may not even hold on against Foggy Tyre, because Foggy Tyre's closing in at nearly 4 seconds a lap, and is 8 seconds behind. As leader on lap 29, Warmingham under big pressure from Gantar. Gantar isn't going to get this race victory surely, but he might well get second position. These two have been fighting each other for the entire race. Dermot Gantar to the outside into turn 3. He's going to get the cutback, and he's pulled it off. No, he hasn't pulled it off. I thought that he was just a bit hesitant on the throttle, I thought, there, Marco, and just didn't quite, floor it out of that corner and really deploy that power.
Yeah, exactly. As they have a lap car in front of them. Should be Clyde Whiting, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, and we know it was at the same spot when lapping Clyde Whiting, who was completely 100% in the clear. There is when Foggy crashed. Clyde moved all the way out of the way of the race leader. And now, of course, this is a tough part of the track to get a lapper, because there's not a lot of space. As the final lap will begin in a second.
Oh, Clyde just holding them up a little bit, but Warmingham very decisive there. This would be, I think, his first ever podium in this series, in an official race. He did win the one of the races in the media day earlier this season. Second or third would be an awesome effort. Sure, he'd prefer the prior date. Gantar to the inside, so Warmingham doesn't feel the need to fend it off, and Gantar is going to lose it, but he's missed the wall, and he's nearly missed Warmingham as well. Wow.
I thought that was going to end up in tears. I am honest with you. I was already seeing the two cars into the wall, completely smashed. Great save by Gantar, and hopefully, luckily, his drivers will be able to hold on to their podium positions. Congratulations. Well, we always say that Gantar is a little bit of a driver that takes it easy and is more like an Alain Prost type of driver. He went for Brock there. He was a little bit behind Warmingham. Props to him for trying to make the move. Everything went well in the end, and McKnight, Warmingham and Gantar is going to be your podium.
Here comes Jay McKnight. One race previously, and he's been knocking on the door for a while. But here he comes for the championship lead as well. Jay McKnight wins at Belle Isle. What a performance that was from him. Fantastic result for him. Fully deserves it, and across the line comes Richard Warring for his best result in this season. Damon Gantar, that's his first podium of the season, I believe. What an incredible event this was. What an incredible second race that was in particular. Michael Cracknell in the end was a pretty dull fourth in the end. A lot happened to him though, with Chris Jackson fifth, Tony Kriesman sixth. And Nicole Foggy has just about hung on against Nikolai Bogotyrev, I believe. So that's important for Foggy in 7th position. Got 7th position by half a second on the line. There is Jamie McKnight doing the donuts, and boy does he deserve it. Like I said, Mark, he's been knocking on the door for a while. He's been making really good progress, and finally that breakthrough win has come.
And dare I say, more importantly, it's a Ford 1-2 in Detroit. So, it is basically Ford's on track here, and we had 2 Ford winners. Congratulations to Jamie McKnight, I'm so happy for him. Warmingham, Gantar complete the podium, and I think, Sam, that we have the final race results from race 2.
I think we've just got a couple more just to get through, haven't we?
And so I can say that I told you that the Ford was faster. Hopefully we'll see even more Fords in the next few rounds. Oh man. Okay. We have to stay away from these walls. I know when later in the season the Skip Barber official series will come here and I will have to race in this track. I will need to be very, very careful about those walls. And the results right now.
Yes, Jamie McKnight takes the race victory. Started 8th position. We kind of forgot about that. He got an awesome start and just picked up other people's mistakes. 1st position. What an awesome drive from him. Richard Warmingham finishes in 2nd position. I'm driver, remember, but he's come on leaps and bounds this season, particularly in this car. And he finishes in 2nd place, only 5.5 seconds off the lead. He's going to be looking at race victories very soon, I believe. Damon Gantar in 3rd position, consistent drive as always from him. Michael Cracknell in 4th. He started in 9th position, really good drive, really good opening couple of races for him. Remember, he's a rookie in this series, really impressive. Chris Jackson 17th to 5th. He'll be happy and disappointed with that. A couple of race victories that could have been today. Tony Kriesman, he'll feel the same. If only he just kept it on the track on that in lap, then maybe there wouldn't have been those issues later on. He finishes in 6th. Nicole Foggy, leading the race, and in fact, unfortunately, it was a mistake from him, and he ends up in 7th position, a half second clear of Nikolai Bogotyrev, who put in an awesome effort today. Victor Morgan was 40 seconds off the lead in 9th. As Samuel Busen in 10th. Presently, Brian started on pole position, and you wonder if he'd maybe kept that pole position for a little bit longer, maybe he would have been able to fight for the race victory. He finishes in 11th though, showing really good pace. Anthony Woodward, club championship leader, maybe not anymore. He's going to have a real tight battle with Richard Warmingham for that trophy. Clyde Whiting 1 lap down in 13th. There's Dominic Sori, Gary Croft, Katie Race Ferrante 6 laps down, Peter Bingham 9 laps down. Johnny Brandon, after an incident that we didn't really see, but it was an odd one. I don't think he got damaged. I just had to retire from the race.
He had wheel issues, I'm reading right now.
Okay, so wheel issues, really the first thing that's gone wrong for Johnny Brandon, and I think he's lost his championship lead now. Michael Frost, 17 laps down in 19th. Josh Thompson did some nice gymnastics in 20th, with Lane O'Connor in 21st position. Next up are the interviews, and Jamie McKnight. Yeah, we'll invite him in.
I thought
Jamie, well done, mate. Fantastic drive from you. You fully deserve that. And finally, that breakthrough win, which I've been going on about for a while now, it's finally come.
Hi Sam, hi Marco. To say that I'm relieved would be an understatement. We were only discussing when my when my first win was going to finally come last week, as you said, and to do it here at the brand new Belle circuit with such a quality field, it doesn't get any better than that. And obviously, in the second race, Nicole had the win easy, but as I say, to finish first you got to finish, and I knew there was a risk if you kept pushing at that pace because my tyres were getting very loose as well, and you've only got to make one mistake and it's over. But I'll take the win and I'll take the third in race 1 too. So I'm just really relieved and really happy I could put on a good show.
Yeah, and I was looking at the championship results, and I'm not 100% confident with the scoring system, but I think with Brandon's retirement and Kluseman just having a bit of a struggling day today, I think he might be in the lead of the championship. It is, now that you got that race victory, is that on your mind at all?
No, look, honestly, I don't even worry about the championship till about 3 or 4 rounds to go, and I knew that I'd be somewhere up there at the moment, but I could have a bad week next week too, and who knows what could happen. But sure, I think I'm definitely a contender this year rather than that 5th, 6th, 7th like I was last year. So my driving's been getting better, and my consistency's been getting better. My pace in that race was really, really good. It was really consistent, and I could sort of turn it up if I needed to, and then pull it back if I needed to as well. So I think I'm starting to get those final pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah, absolutely. And you put all those pieces together today, and you got really good race starts in both races, and that proved to be really important. There was a lot of chaotic stuff going on around you, but you kind of kept your head cool and got those 2 podiums. And despite I'm not sure if you overtook anyone today, and yet you just profited from other people's mistakes. You got good starts, and that was kind of enough.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that. The only people I really overtook was in the pits. I did a really good pit stop in that second race. I was really fast in the pits, and I jumped, I think it was Damien and Tony Klusterman in the pits. And as you know with Tony, that's no mean feat. He's normally pretty smart with those things. So, I just knew from doing the officials here last week that all you need to do is keep the car straight and not make any mistakes and just stay out of everyone's way, and you can be, at least in the top 5, and then things just rolled my way and my pace was good. So, yeah, we got there.
Yeah, absolutely. And next up will be the endurance race at Spa. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be here, so I'm really disappointed about that. But I think the endurance races, I think at Suzuka last season, you were quite competitive. I think you got 6th or something in that race, or at least were running 6th in the closing stages. Those endurance races favour you?
Yeah, I love them, and Spa's one of my favourite tracks. I've had like 5 or 6 official wins there in the V8 Supercar, so I think I had my first one there. So yeah, I reckon I've got a good chance of being on the podium again at Spa, and just got to do what I did today and keep it clean and consistent and stay off the walls and stay out of trouble, and we'll be right.
Yeah, absolutely. And before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Sure, I'd love to thank Evolution Racing Team and my teammates Michael Cracknell tonight, and Brenton for getting up so early and racing with me. Also our sponsors, Logitech and Joel Real Timing. Thanks so much to them, and also to Apex Racing and all you guys for doing such a fantastic job each week. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jamie, and well done once again.
See you at Spa.
So next up will be Johnny Brandon, I think. And Johnny, well done out there. But yeah, just take us through that second race. What happened there?
Just a complete disaster. Hi guys, firstly, and got a great start, and then just had some wheel troubles in the second race. So unfortunately, I got a Fanatec wheel, and every now and then it just cuts out for a second, and then comes back on again. But whilst it cuts out, it still steers the car, but you lose all feedback and weight in the wheel, and it won't shift gears. So it did it a couple of times when I was trying to get past Jamie, and I was missing the gears. And then, I don't know if you noticed, but where I went into the wall there was basically the same place on 2 separate occasions. So I've got a little bit of right hand lock on the wheel. and then the feedback goes, and I just drag the wheel right down and turn right, basically, because the wheel just cuts out for a second. So looks like it's a dropped round for me. Bit disappointing.
Yeah, I think so. And yeah, we did see that on the broadcast, and
it's frustrating. I had so much pace.
Absolutely.
I couldn't get past Jamie. He was all fairly defending. But I had so much pace in my pocket, and then watching the rest of the race and seeing what happened to Tony and Nickel and everyone else that was there for the taking. So it's frustrating, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah, it could have gone to a lot of different drivers out there. And yeah, in the end, it was Jamie. But yeah, of course, in terms of pure points, I think it might be Jamie now leading the championship. But of course, that drop round, does that in a way kind of help you just kind of remove that from your thoughts? You can very much move on. It wasn't your fault today. You kind of drove faultlessly. Let's go to the more positive. First race, really good drive. You got that really good race start. In the end, Nicole just went off the circuit, didn't he, when got a bit of a tap from behind from Chris. And then that contact with Chris later on in the lap. But after that, you were absolutely dominant, and everything was going very rosy at that point.
Yeah, race one, it was great. It was, like you said, it was a bit of a hectic start. And Chris had a little wobble out of turn 3 once he got past me and left the door open. So I went into the gap. And when I was in the gap, I felt like he tried to sort of squeeze me a bit. So I tried to leave him as much room as possible and stay on the curb, which I felt I did. And he just sort of turned in and bounced off me, I think. Although I didn't get any incursions, so I got the bonus points again. But kind of a waste of time, considering I'm going to end up dropping the round. But it's unlucky that my wheel did it in race 2, but I've got to take a little bit of the blame because it did do it twice in race 1, and luckily it was on a straight. But I should have really taken note of that and turned it off and give it a clean out and put it back together again before race 2, and I didn't. So I've only got myself to blame, really. It's frustrating, but long way to go in the series. I don't know if there's one drop round or if it's 2 drop rounds. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, there was discussions for 2, but it ended up being 1, I think.
Oh, if there's only one, then that's it. It's no more get out of jail free cards. So yeah, you normally want to keep them for when you're struggling with pace. And I was really surprised by my pace around there, to be honest, because in practice I've been struggling and it just come alive in the race. So yeah, pretty gutted, I got to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, last season we saw Michael have an awful round for the first round. That was his drop round, and then the next 9 rounds he was absolutely faultless. So if you can do that, then it's certainly very, very possible. But yeah, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Well, yeah, just for me, the championship's just a bonus. I'm here for the fun of the racing, and racing with all the guys. Like I said before, the car is the most fun car to drive for me on iRacing by a long way. And any sort of championship point, it's always going to be a massive battle because there's so many good drivers, and that's just a bonus. I'm not too frustrated about that. It's more that I had good pace to do well, and surprisingly, and then it didn't work out. But hey ho. And like you said, a shame Michael wasn't here. I was quite surprised he wasn't here tonight, to be fair.
Yeah, I think he's pulled out of the series from what I've understood.
Oh really?
Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah, just grew a little bit frustrated with the car in the end, and yeah, I don't think he felt as though he could put quite so much effort as he did last season. So yeah, I don't think he's going to be doing the rest of the season. But of course, he will have plenty of challenges for the rest of the season. But yeah, anyone you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Just you guys for the broadcast. Hopefully, you didn't laugh at me too much when I went into the wall. Twice.
We were confused. I thought you hit the wall or something, like netcode. We were so confused.
Yeah, in the same place, and it just turned the car around. That was it. It's just had a slight little bit of right. It just kicks to the right there before the left, and when the feedback goes, all the weight in the wheel goes, and that's it. You just end up putting too much right on, and you just clip the wall. So it's one of those things. But anyway, enough excuses. On to the next one. Who do I want to thank? Just thank all the guys that run the championship. Thanks to Simmortal for sponsoring this round, and all my teammates. And well done to Richard Warmingham as well in the second XVR team. He did amazingly well to grab second place. drove a near perfect race. So I'll try and get him in for an interview with him. But thanks, guys.
Thanks, Johnny, and best of luck for the next one.
Cheers. Take care.
I think next we've got Crackers, which I assume is Michael Cracknell. And Michael, well done out there. You've really started off this championship well. Okayama was your first meeting, and you must just be really pleased with how you've kind of mixed into the league.
Hi Sam, hi guys. Yeah, so far so good. I didn't know what to expect with Belle because of the walls, and it seems like it's quite high attrition, so there were some guys that fell out that I would have expected to be further up there. So for me it was just finish the 2 races, try and drive it as clean as I can, and I mean even second race I made a bit of a mistake and lost a couple of spots, but other than that, yeah, it was a pretty good night.
Yeah, and with the overtaking out there, how did you find it with the overtaking in defence? Did you kind of get a little bit frustrated out there? Because I think we saw a couple of drivers in the early stage of the race just going a little bit, frustrated that they couldn't make the moves. Were you able to stay relatively calm in those big packs of cars?
Yeah, I mean I had I think it was Dom ahead of me, and I just sort of rode behind him, and once he started to, I felt like he was holding me up a little bit. I dived into the pits. I came in quite early and trying to get an undercut, which worked really well initially, but my tyres were quite a bit older than Richard and Dom, so I didn't find the traffic too bad. You just got to be patient sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. And going into the next few rounds, what are kind of your aims for this series? Because you're very much, today maybe a race victory was within 10 seconds of you. So do you feel as though that's your next aim, or is it just about, getting a couple more podiums first?
Yeah, look, I'd like to get some race wins, but at the moment we'll just see how we go and just try and keep it consistent and accumulate points. That's all I'm going to try and do at the minute.
Yeah, I think that's certainly very wise. And before you let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just everybody at ART, Jamie, Brenton, who are running in this series. Also, congratulations to Jamie. He had an awesome night. And just our sponsors, Logitech. So, yeah, it was a good night.
Well done, Michael, and we'll see you at Spa.
No worries. Thanks, Sam. Thanks, guys.
And I think finally our last interview will be Josh Thompson. And Josh, well done. I thought that was some kind of pike. I think they call it in the gymnastics. Very nice.
Yeah, executed quite well. I thought 10 out of 10.
Yeah, apart from the damage on the car, it could have been a little bit better. That's the equivalent of like breaking an ankle, I guess. But yeah, what on earth happened there? You just seemed to tap the wall and that was it.
I don't know. I literally, it happened. I started laughing on the voice chat. I knew I clipped the wall, but I knew I didn't hit it that hard. But I found one of those glitches in the World GT when I was testing in another corner, where it writes off the entire car. It literally like sags the car down. So, don't know. It just clipped the wall, and it literally went from 0 to full RPM flat out in the sky. I was like, well, this has gone well. Landed, looking off, managed to land on all 4 wheels, which I thought was the impressive part. Right back into the pit lane, did the fast repair. I'm like, okay, I can carry on now. Taking the fuel, done the tyre, let's go. Like, the car feels weird. Look up, and the suspension and the left wheel still stuck in the window on the left monitor. I'm like, the fast repair didn't work then.
Yeah, clearly not.
I was like, and it's a shame really, because looking at the results, I was with Jamie battling, so could have had a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. You have been right in line for a potential win. But of course, you can't do the full season because you've got a lot of other series to commit to. But kind of what rounds are you hoping to do? Are you just hoping to do maybe these types of events, or just, on a weekend you feel like turning up?
It just all depends, really. I only really did tonight was because McLaren Shadow, I've done quite a few races this week, and I've messed my score up, so I've got to wait till the main race now on Sunday. So I was like, we knew the only chance I was going to make up was if it was like a double grid, which it wasn't, so that's why I signed up for this tonight. But no, there's a few tracks on the list that look quite nice, so I might pop in just for Even if it's just for race 1, if I only have time to do race 1 and I have to jump in with Shadow, I don't mind. But it's just a load of fun, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see you tomorrow, I guess, in the BSR GT.
Yeah.
And is it well? Ah, okay.
Because Shadow's at 8 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're
So
not playing you. Yeah.
I'll probably, if I do, I'll end up joining in race 2, and I might be in a different car.
Right. Okay.
I might be scrapping the championship and just racing it in the McLaren, because there's a GT3 part to it, which you have to race the McLaren in. So I might start to get a head advantage up in that by just driving the car.
Right. Okay. And well, is it World GT this Monday?
Yes, it is. Motegi.
Yes. And
I'll be
yeah.
back.
Yeah, good. It'll be yeah, certainly good to see you back on Apex Racing TV. And before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, so first off, Kazuki Umeshima for the setup, because he raced it this week. Absolute fantastic setup. Bit of a handful, but yes, that's the thing with this car. It's always a handful. So massive thanks to him giving me the setup, and then just Radicals Online.
Thanks, Josh. And yeah, we'll see you on well, either tomorrow or Monday.
Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow evening.
So, Mark, I've already gone on about how amazing this race was, and yeah, quite incredible. Everything that could have happened, I think, happened, and it really is a kind of great advertisement, I think, for this series.
Well, since lately you've been very keen on doing highlight videos, I think that if you ever do an highlight package at the end of the season for this series, these 2 races tonight will be prominently featured. Hopefully you keep the barrel roll in, because that was the best moment of the night. But apart from that, we had some amazing racing, great battles, crazy moments, and you know, like I said in the first race, I wouldn't call any race over until it was over, and in race 2, sadly for Nicole Foggy, he made that incredible mistake, and it seems like I'm noticing that he said that basically he lost the car because he typed thank you to Clyde Whiting in the chat while he was letting him by. So
Never do that, you see?
It's especially on a track like this, I think it's mandatory to keep your concentration all the times, and the thank you message can wait for later. And I think that Nicole has learned his lesson, and this won't happen again, and he will be one of the protagonists of the season going on. And if I'm not mistaken, we are going to have a completely different kind of race in 2 weeks in the endurance race at Spa, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be completely different. We are going to be, of course, very wary of the incident limit there, and it's a one and done. It's only one race. It's very long. You have to be ready. You have to be a good setup, and most importantly, a good strategy. So I cannot wait for the enduro race at Spa in 2 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going to be here. I'm really sorry. I'm at the World Endurance Championship at Silverstone that weekend. So, yeah, I won't be. I can't believe I'm missing it. But
of course, the longest race of the season.
Yeah.
And you leave me alone. But yeah, go enjoy the WC. I'm sure you'll keep the tablet or the phone on and check on the
Yes,
stream
absolutely.
every once in a while.
Yeah, I can set up a headset or something, can't I, and chat to you during the race. I don't know. But yeah, I'll see you back in 4 weeks' time for this series. But I think Marco and Sam will see you in 2 weeks' time at Spa-Francorchamps. And yeah, what event that could be. Tomorrow, of course, we've got the BSR GT, Monday, the World GT, and BSR MX5, and we're going to take Sports Car Series on Tuesday, the iRacing Le Mans Series on Wednesday, the BSR TC Pro Series on Thursday, and on Saturday, actually, next Saturday, we haven't got too much. I haven't got too much on next week. I haven't got any World Championship stuff. But yeah, you'll be back with us in 2 weeks' time at Spa-Francorchamps for the endurance event. Certainly do not miss that. But for now, from me, from Market, and from Sam, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you next time.